Hello everybody, this is Billy the Mad Korean, mad as in crazy, not as in angry, and today I want to talk to you about a Honda CRX Si. This is a 1985 Honda CRX Si. But first let's talk about the 1984 Honda CRX. The Honda CRX came out in 1984, but unlike most Hondas and most cars generally, it did not get released in October of 1983. Now, generally, most car companies release their new automobiles in October. And one of the main reasons they do this is so they can take advantage of Thanksgiving and Christmas car sales. Everybody wants the latest, greatest, newest model, so why not make them available for Christmas? Now, in 1984, in January, we still had not gotten any new 1984 Honda Civics or the new 1984 Honda CRX. At the Honda dealers, we knew absolutely nothing about them. We did not get any material, we did not get any brochures, we did not get service manuals, we did not get what we call PDI, pre-delivery inspection sheets, which we use when we inspect new cars fresh off the truck before we deliver them to a customer. So suddenly I'm a service provider at a Honda dealer here in Southern California, and my parts manager walks up to me with a plastic CRX fender in 1984. And he walked up to me and said, "Does this belong to any of our cars?" And I looked at him and I picked up the fender and I looked at it and I said, "No, where in the world did you get this fender from?" And he says, "We got 10 boxes of parts from Honda. They won't tell us what they are. We called and asked them what they are, and the only thing they told us was, keep them, you're going to need them." So again, now it's February and then it's March. So March of 1984, we still have not gotten any 1984 Honda Civics or Honda CRXs. And at this point, most of the automotive world thinks that Honda is going to wait till 1985 before they release the new Honda Civic. Auto Week actually had a small article that said that Honda was due to release the new Honda Civic in 1985 and that no one knew anything about it other than the fact that it might have 4 wheels. Now, when Honda was developing the CRX, little sidebar here, when Honda was developing the CRX, one of their favorite places to work on and test a new car was Suzuka Raceway, home of Honda. And at Suzuka Raceway, I heard that Honda actually sent up little tents all around the racetrack with special spotters inside of the towers. And if any one of the spotters saw a airplane, helicopter, anything in the air coming towards Suzuka Raceway, they would sound an alarm. All the cars on the track would pull into tents and hide. Now, while Honda was developing the CRX, another Japanese company, Yokohama, was about to make their big move into the United States. And their premium tire was an autocross tire known as the A008. Now, one of the things that most people don't realize is when Yokohama was developing the A008, they were actually testing that tire on the new but unreleased Honda CRX at Suzuka. So, the A008 was literally designed around the Honda Civic and CRX. One of my friends had a 1985 Honda Civic S, and I told him, dump the Michelins, because they are absolutely terrible tires, and put on a set of Yokohama A008s. So he ordered a set, had them installed, drove the car around, called me back and said, "You know, it feels like I put on a whole nother suspension. These are incredible tires." Okay, back to the 1985 CRX Si. What makes a CRX Si special? Well, first, let's talk about the exterior. So there are certain things on the CRX Si that the common CRX DX did not have. So, number one, the CRX Si has a rear ducktail spoiler. It also has a rear windshield wiper, which the standard DX did not have. It also has a tiny little SI badge here in the back. Now, one of the things about Honda is that when the CRX Si's came out, they were available in 3 colors. 2 of the colors were standard CRX colors. So one was blue, one was red, and then the only unique color was black. And this is a black Honda CRX Si. This is Honda CRX Si in 1985 was only the second black car that Honda ever sold in the United States. The first black car was the 1980 to 1983 Honda Civic S, which was kind of a badge job. It had black paint or red paint, had special badges, but nothing done to the engine or suspension to really make it stand out. Now, more details about the 1985 CRX Si. One of the things it did come with was a right-hand mirror. Now, most CRXs, the DXs and HFs did not come standard with a right-hand mirror. It was something that you could add on at the dealer. But CRX SIs all had right-hand mirrors and left-hand mirrors. The other thing that's kind of interesting is that in 1985 or in the 1980s, Hondas came with the mirrors not installed. So during the pre-PDI or pre-delivery inspection, we had to install the mirrors. Now, why did they do this? We think it's because somebody at Honda figured out that if they take off the mirrors, they can park the cars about 6 inches closer to each other and actually open up another row or two and put more cars on the boat. Very easy. It was economics. It was cheaper to have dealer technicians install the mirrors just so they could get more cars onto the boat. Now, a couple other things about the CRX Si. It did have this rather unique red stripe along the side panels and on the front bumper. And as you can see, the plastic on the side panels is faded out to kind of an orange color. And now the red in the front bumper still looks reasonably red. Okay. Now, another couple things about the CRX. It did come with alloy wheels, and none of the other Hondas came with Honda CRXs came with alloy wheels. This is the factory alloy wheel. It's a 13-inch, ran a 175/70 13 tire, and you can see it's a 4-slot 13-inch alloy, 5J by 13, made in Japan. The wheels that are currently on this car are wheels from a late 1980s Honda Prelude that were hand polished. These are 14-inch wheels, and they're running 185/60 14 tires. Now, as you can see, the 185/60 14 is almost exactly the same diameter. Let's get that a little closer. They're almost exactly the same diameter. So the 185/60 14 on a 14-inch tire is an awesome upgrade for the 1985 CRX Si or any 1980s 84 to 87 Honda Civic or CRX. It's a great upgrade, and it's a reasonably cost upgrade that will definitely benefit you in handling, braking, everywhere, as long as you get quality tires. These are Vredestein tires, and one little side note is Vredesteins, these are great all-season tires. Another side note is that Vredestein tires seem to go on sale every year in May. In May, Tire Rack usually offers like an $80 to $120 Visa card if you buy a complete set of 4. So that's one way to, get yourself a quick little deal and save some money. Now, the CRX Si also is supposed to have a slightly deeper front lip. And one of the things that the 84 and 85 CRXs and Honda Civics had were the recessed headlights with the standard 4x6 glass headlight. This is a popular option as a lot of people with 86 and 87 CRXs and Civics like the idea of backdating to the older style headlights. Now in 1986, the CRX became one color. They got rid of the two-tone black and gray, blue and gray, or red and gray, and they went to solid one-color cars. So in 1986 and 1987, the CRX was available in red, silver, white, and black. Okay, silver was a 1987 only color, I believe. But again, those were all one-color cars. The bumpers and the side panels and the rockers were all painted the same color as the car. Now, another option that the CRX Si has that no other Honda had at the time was the sunroof. Now, this is the Honda factory sunroof, and it's kind of unusual in the fact that instead of going down into the car and going backwards, and you can see there's not a whole lot of room back there, nor is there a lot of headroom, the CRX roof lifts up and then goes backwards. So it's actually sitting above and outside the car when the CRX sunroof is opened. The running joke at Honda dealers was that one of these days that roof is going to open, go backwards, and just keep going. But it worked great, and it was a great innovative design. Now, a couple more things about the Honda CRX Si. This car only weighed 1,800 pounds, or maybe 1,800 and change. But it was extremely lightweight, just a great handling little car. We'll be talking more in future episodes about the engine and transmission, and the suspension and the interior. So, again, this is Bill the Mad Korean. Thank you for watching my little video on the Honda CRX Si. If you have any more questions or you have any comments, please leave them below. I'll happily take a look at them, answer any questions you have. Oh, one more side item. The Honda CRXs came with plastic front fenders and plastic header panels, and they break. They crack over time. You can see that they do have a tendency to crack. They do have a tendency to break. Honda's been out of these parts forever, so don't even bother looking at a Honda dealer. There are several options. There was a guy in France, NKSI Composite, I believe it is. I'll put a link in the bottom of the intro, and so you can check it out. I actually ordered a set of fenders from Nicholas, and they were in great condition. I also ordered the head panel and the side rocker panels that covered the doors, and all of them got here quickly, in less than 2 weeks. Shipping charges from France were extremely reasonable, and they fit great. Now, this car, I wound up selling those because I'm going to wind up selling this car eventually. And I'm going to leave it up to someone else to take this car and restore it to its former glory. But again, this is a 1985 Honda CRX Si in the black color, which is the rarest and most desirable of colors. Again, because the blue and red, unless you saw the SI designation or you saw the alloy wheels, you would never know that those red and blue CRX SIs were SIs. Like I said, there were only certain things that could identify them. The Ducktail spoiler, the SI badge on the rear of the car, and the fact that it has a right-hand mirror and a sunroof. Little things like that would clue you in. But again, black was the most desirable color because, again, it was a color that was unique to the CRX. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with more on the 1985 CRX Si. Thanks. Bye.